of roads.
Now, what will I find?
You'll find a picture of the Statue of Liberty. It'll tell you it's French Masonic statute. It represents Masons. And
Kevin, look that up.
Look it up. I'm challenging all the listeners to look it up.
Okay. Colossus of Rhodes.
Right.
C-O-L-L.
How do you spell Colossus? C-O-L-L. I've got Ben Zavinia with me. He's thinking. Anyway, C-O-L will get you in the right area. If you do it, you'll find it. It's Colossus of Rhodes.
Yeah, don't ask Ben to spell anything. He can't even spell his name.
You can't even spell your name.
Go ahead.
You're being nice. Okay. Anyway, we keep getting off track, but I wanted everybody to understand what originally happened. Now, here's the problem. When the Civil War started, okay, the South never showed up.
What do you mean never showed up?
Congress never came. It never convened.
Okay. Then
the Senate didn't convene.
Congress didn't show up.
None of them showed up.
Right.
Okay? Now, we operate under what's called the Roberts Rules of Procedure.
Yeah.
And under the Roberts Rules of Procedure, if you don't have the next meeting, okay, you don't convene, a thing called sine die kicks in. S-E-N-I-D-I-E, I guess. It basically means it died.
Yeah.
Now, that's when the Republic died. At that point, we were no longer a Republic. Now, at the end of the Civil War, they could have reinstated the Republic, but they didn't. Now, put yourself in Abe Lincoln's shoes. He's standing there. They're in the middle of this war, okay? And he decided that he wanted to make government move forward under a power called the, what was the power, Ben? Boy, this is such a big story. It was the power of necessity. Under common law necessity. I'll get it right.
Okay.
Common law is the most powerful form of law. And under common law necessity, that means if there's not a government in place, you can create a temporary emergency government. So Abe Lincoln, what he did was he took the three departments of government, judicial, executive, and legislative. Notice I used the word department. Department. I want people to pay attention there. He convenes those three departments underneath himself, making them branches. And to this day, all of the government is branches underneath the executive branch.
Now, prior to that,
they were departments. And this is why on the dollar bill you have the pyramid with the little light coming out of it. That represents the power of masonry. You with me?
Okay.
And the eagles holding the branches, that represents branches of government under the executive power controlled by the word Columbia, like District of Columbia, means ruled by Masons. Look up the word Columbia in your encyclopedia.
And what will I find?
Well, you'll find that it's basically, it has meanings, Masonic meanings.
We've got a very small, inexpensive dictionary. We couldn't find the Colossus.
Well, it's in the encyclopedia, this stuff. And I got Ben here helping me. So anyway, I'm giving you the feedback of, so all of the branches now are branches. And you went to elementary school, they told you you had three branches of government.
Right.
A branch is something underneath something else. Now, prior to the Civil War, you had departments.
Okay.
Okay. When they became branches, that's when it became a democracy.
Ooh. Okay.
That's the difference. Nobody seems to know the difference between democracy and republic. This is when it shifted. Does that logically make sense?
So far, okay.
Okay.
When the South didn't show up,
sine die kicked in,
and
we convene the three departments as branches under the executive branch, and we have three branches of government now.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
How close to break are we? How are we doing?
Oh, we got what, about 3 minutes.
Okay. So now we're branches of government.
2 minutes.
Now, we have three kinds of jurisdiction in court. We have equity.
Yeah.
We have maritime.
Yeah.
And we have judicial.
Right.
Now, if you say you have the right to remain silent, what kind of right is that? It's a judicial right, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's a contract dispute, it's equity. And if it's a contract or a dispute on the open seas, it's maritime, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, if you put the judicial branch, which is judges, let's say they're still a department, can they have a judicial trial? Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're a separate department. They're not under anybody, right?
Right.
When the power of the president is only maritime. So you put the judiciary underneath the president, can you have a judicial trial now?
No.
No, you're correct. That's why all these patriots are misguided. They go to court and they're waving these little flags with these little yellow, without the yellow frill, and they're saying we want a trial based on the flag of peace and all that. And the judge is rolling his eyes around. Here's the problem: the yellow frill around the flag represents a court being operated under the power of the executive branch. It's an Army war flag under Bill Clinton.
Or whoever might be in the Oval Office.
Right.
Okay.
Now, here's the problem. When Abe Lincoln conducted his congressional meetings and his Senate meetings underneath Abe Lincoln, what jurisdiction were they now in? Maritime. Whose power who did they have to answer to? Abe Lincoln. They're no longer separate departments of government. When Harry Reid and the boys meet in Washington, they are underneath. That's why one show you were arguing with me. I said it doesn't matter. They convene under the power of the president.
Yeah.
There's only one department of government now with branches underneath it in a democracy, and Bill Clinton's at the helm.
And then I'm going to hold you. It's 12 before the hour. Lou Epton back with you, along with, I guess, Dave Hinkson here on the AM 840, KXNT, and we're talking tonight, I think, some very important stuff, and I wish everybody was really more aware of this, because if we were, I don't think we'd be looking at a lot of the problems that we're faced with today. What do you think, Dave?
I think you're right. Before the show's over, I'd like to make a little announcement here. I'm going to cover an argument that I developed for people who are already political prisoners. I thought we would explain it, and maybe it'll help some people that are already behind bars get out.
All right. What do you say we do that right after we do the top of the hour news?
Just remind me, okay?
Okay, we'll open the second hour with something that'll help people that have been political prisoners.
You have a lot of listeners who are in jail that don't belong there.
They got nothing else to do.
And they're listening right now. God bless those people.
Yeah.
Anyway, you'll find under military court in 4 of the United States Code, it states that the flag with the gold fringe is a military court. That's found under 4 USC. Okay, so it wasn't just some theory I had. All the stuff that we've covered so far is provable. Okay, we're not sitting here just rapidly, wildly throwing out accusations. I've been working for years trying to figure out the big picture here.
I know that, and
I'm closer now than ever, and this is kind of an update for everybody.
Well, I think it's kind of an interesting breakthrough to recognize that when this really started was with our own Civil War, and you never hear that talked about. And, of course, when we look at the presidents that everybody so admires, you got Washington, Lincoln, how many others? But those two were definitely always there, and specifically now with what happened with Lincoln. Do you think he was aware of what he was doing at the time when he did it?
Yes, and I think he was sorry he did it, and I think he wanted to put it back as a republic. I don't want to say too much bad about him because he seems to be an idol of everybody's.
Yeah. Well, so was Roosevelt.
I will say that's why they shot him, in my opinion, was because he, A, was printing greenbacks, and B, he wanted to restore the republic. And, of course, the bankers did not want the republic restored. They want military martial rule.
Why would the bankers want martial rule?
Because you have no constitutional rights.
Well, how does that benefit the bankers?
Because when you have no rights, they can do the things they're doing. They don't have to honor any of the Constitution.
Well, now, wait a minute.
Everything's a front, Lou. They're just pretending that people... All the listeners out here have no rights constitutionally. Because in a maritime court, when you're at sea, they can make you walk the plank. You have no rights. This is why when you go into an IRS court or any other federal court, the guy gets up. I remember that case up in Montana where the IRS killed the guy. He went to court. He had great legal arguments. He went into the federal court, and the judge said, "How do you plead?" And he said, "Well, I don't want to plead. I think you're violating my constitutional rights." And the judge said, "Shut up. You mentioned Jesus or God or the U.S. Constitution one more time in this courtroom, and you're in contempt, and we're going to finish this trial with you behind bars." And the guy stood there dumbfounded. He couldn't believe what he just heard. He stood there, couldn't open his mouth, and they had their way with him, and off to prison he went for 8 years, okay?
Well, could that have been just that individual judge who was violating everything that we hold to be
The judges go to the secret school in Reno. All the judges in the U.S. go to the secret school in Reno, and according to their level of judgeship, they go to different degrees or levels of understanding of the conspiracy. It is safe to say, and I'm willing to bet my my whole reputation on it, that if you're a Supreme Court judge, you're at the top, you know all of it.
But if it's a secret school, how can we know about it?
Well, the school's not secret, but they don't invite anybody else to go in there to learn those secrets of being a judge. And once you get to a high enough position as judge, you're not allowed to go back and practice law. You agree not to.
Judges have gone back into practice.